Hi, and I'm Jen from Thermogenerator. Welcome back. I'm really excited today to show you one of the fantastic new features of the TM6, and that is the machine's capability of getting up to high heat to create sugar works. Sugar works like fudge, toffee, boiled sweets, and today we're going to make honeycomb. And for all of you guys that are homeschooling, this is the absolute perfect thing to make with your kids because there's great scientific reaction. So first of all, I have planned my day to make honeycomb. So I've gone to my week and I'm bringing up the recipe. Now, when I scroll down, I can see what I need. I need some bicarb soda. It says 1 to 2 tablespoons. I only ever put 1 tablespoon in, otherwise it tastes a little bit bitter. I love to use some golden syrup rather than honey. So there's about 20 grams of that. We need 300 grams of white sugar and a little bit of water. So what I'm suggesting you do is you talk to your kids prior to making and mixing any of these ingredients about what are solids and what are liquids. So obviously sugar is a solid, the bicarb soda is a solid, but the liquid comes in the form of water and the golden syrup. So we're all ready to start cooking. I highly recommend that if you've got your kids assisting you, you really do need to be present because the bowl does get really hot. Okay, so I press start cooking and it asks me to line a baking tray with baking paper to pour the honeycomb onto. So we've done that, got that ready. And have ready the 1 to 2 tablespoons of bicarb soda because that's going to go in very quickly at the end. So to the bowl I need to weigh 300 grams of sugar. Get your kids reading those scales, practicing their numbers. There we go. 80 grams of water. Obviously, once again, talking about liquids and solids as they go into the bowl using that science language. I've got 20 grams of golden syrup. And without the measuring cup in place, pop the lid on. And we're going to heat that for 22 minutes at maximum temperature, which is around 150, 160 degrees, to create the mixture for the honeycomb. Now, as I said before, the bowl is going to get really hot, so please don't leave your children unattended whilst we're at this stage. But I do only like to cook it for about 19 minutes. Otherwise, I find it gets a little bit too overcooked for my taste, so I'm going to do it to 19 minutes. Okay, I press the Sugar Works button here and get it going. So I would be also talking to the children about what's going to happen to those solids as the heat goes into the bowl, that they're going to actually turn into liquid. So there's a scientific change there. So only within a couple of minutes, that mixture is come to the boil. So if you have a look in, and if the kids want to have a look in very carefully, they'll see that the bubbles, because it's all the solids have melted into a liquid, and due to the heat is making a boil. And from a boiling liquid, we get a gas, and that gas in this particular instance is called steam. So far we've talked about liquids, solids, and gases. All right, so this is where it becomes a really good science lesson. Now with only half a minute left, I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen. The next stage is really fast. So I'm actually going to have my spatula in the bowl ready to stir before I even put the bicarb soda in. Then once the bicarb soda goes in, I'm going to stir it and stir it and stir it really, really rapidly, about 14, 15 times, and then pour the honeycomb onto the tray. So excuse me if I'm not explaining as I'm going. I just want to just get the job done. Otherwise, it's going to go solid in the actual pot, and it's not going to work. All right, so bear with me. Quick look at what it looks like. I'm putting that in here, and now I'm going for it. Look at that nugget of gold. And what's actually happened here is that the bicarb soda has decomposed, and when it's reacted with the water and the sugar. And that is fantastic honeycomb. So it's still soft, but it's going to cool, and as it cools, it's going to become a solid again. So we've got to leave it to get to exactly room temperature, and then you can break it up. So it just sits there like that big nugget, and you can see some of the carbon dioxide holes there. That's exactly what we want. We want it to look like real honeycomb. So whilst it's cooling to room temperature, I have pre-cleaned the bowl. The next step in the recipe actually guides you to use the pre-clean function, which is absolutely sensational. So we had all this sticky mess inside there, inside the bowl, and I just added a litre of water and a little bit of vinegar, or I used a little bit of detergent, put it on pre-wash, and it's actually got a lot of the mess off the bowl, and then I'm just able to scrub it clean. So here's this splendid result, honeycomb. Just absolutely delicious. And of course, what you could do with that is melt some chocolate and drizzle it over. You might want to transfer that into something else like Hokey Pokey ice cream, or there's another fantastic recipe on Cookie Doo, which is a honeycomb hedgehog slice. It's absolutely delicious, or you just might want to eat it the way it is. So I hope that's helped. You might like to talk to the kids about, fizzy drinks and the carbon dioxide in fizzy drinks, and also follow up with an information report. And an information report is a written exercise where the children can list 3 facts, or if they're not old enough to actually write for themselves yet, perhaps they can tell you 3 things that they learned about making honeycomb. Or draw pictures to show the stages, anything. But if you follow it up, it reinforces all the information that you've taught them. Older children might like to use this sort of report template, where they actually write the title, so it'd be making honeycomb, an introduction, and then writing the facts that they've learnt. So I always like to follow up a hands-on activity like this with a written exercise, because as I said, it does reinforce what they've learnt, but also it gives them a chance to write. And whilst they're at home and not at school, they need to be actually writing. Okay, I hope this has helped. Enjoy. Don't eat too much of that honeycomb, but what you do eat, I know that you're going to love.